Aaron, you ruined it.
It's the new intro. It's not. It doesn't get you that pumped as much as it did. We need to
change the sound.
Is it? I still don't think it's right. Comments below if that's still the same song we've always had, because that still doesn't. It's just not quite there. There's just something there. Anyway, good morning, everybody, and a very warm welcome to Ask the Accountant episode number. Wait for it. We've got a bit of speciality for this one. Just 2 seconds. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Episode number 52. Look at that. We've gone all out. We've just spent all the budget on confectionery and balloons and all sorts. So you're welcome. Episode number 52. No, a year, but more on that in a moment. We're proudly sponsored by Employment Hero. We're more on that in a few moments time or halfway through the show. My name is Aaron Patrick. As always, I'm with my co-host, Johann. Johann, how has your weekend been? I've heard you've been out and going to some really cool locations. I can't wait to learn more and get very jealous. Maybe.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I was out to Aberdeen. And when you say cool, did you check the weather forecast?
Oh, was that what it was? Cool, was it? Cool.
Bloody freezing. It was wet, grey, and cold, to say the least, up in Aberdeen. I mean, it's just cold down here in Edinburgh today. But yeah, I want to say... I
can do the story for you if you want. So you tell me. And
So I took the wife to stay at Brewdog Aberdeen's hotel because she gets very jealous of the fact that Aaron and I stay at the Manchester one whenever we can. So I thought, I'll take her up to the Brewdog Hotel in Aberdeen. It was all right. It wasn't the same. They were missing quite a lot of major features. Don't get me wrong, the staff were absolutely lovely. It's just not set up in the same way. Hasn't got the same benefits and perks as Aberdeen. So if anyone's looking to stay at a Brewdog Hotel, make sure you stick to Edinburgh or Manchester is my top advice.
Yeah.
But yeah, how was your weekend?
Yeah. Good weekend. I think with that Edinburgh versus Manchester, for me, Edinburgh just makes it a little bit more special. If you've got one to go, plus City of Edinburgh is absolutely lovely, as I'm sure Johan will agree with. But I think that one step above, I think for so basically what we're saying is, from a Brewdog point of view, hotels around the UK, Edinburgh number 1, Manchester very close second, and Aberdeen's there as well.
Yeah, you could have stayed at a Premier Inn and got the same experience.
Yeah.
But hey ho, moving on before we get banned from broadcasting at Brewdog Waterloo.
So here to celebrate our 1-year anniversary, we've got some people in the chat as well. We've got Paul. Good morning, Paul. Hello, Paul. Hope you are well. We've got Kirsty as well. Good morning, everyone. And nice little eyes there, loving the fact that it's our 1 year. Louise Moore, good morning, Louise. Good morning, hope you are doing well. Jodie's here as well, good morning. Natasha's here, and I know she's had some good news at the moment, or promoting some news and stuff on socials and stuff. So yeah, they're going well, hope they're going well. Mel U Dave is going well. Yeah, Kirsty says happy anniversary to us, and 1 whole year, says Jodie. Amazing, congratulations. And Susan Jack is here as well. I'm sure many more will be popping through as we go along. So thank you everyone for joining us, and Paul's here as well. Good morning, Paul. So if you want to talk to us during the show, then make sure you put your comments in the section and we'll bring them in. So Merlin's here as well. Good morning, Merlin. And we will be able to answer them as well. You guys can keep us honest. So hopefully you can spot if we make a mistake now before we have to make the apology next week or the week after. As we know, that doesn't go quite as well, does it, that way around?
It'll go better if you rehearsed it.
Yeah, some of us don't rehearse it enough and make the situation even worse. So yeah, try and catch us if we do anything wrong as we go. Because remember, this is your show as well. Today we've got some great stuff lined up for us. First of all, we need your help. So we are asking outside of everyone basically to come up with some ideas and some suggestions. Basically, with it being 1 year going along with Ask the Accountant, we feel that our sub-brands, which is Ask the Accountant, We Have Cool Friends, and Ask the Accountant Pit Stops, and Ask the Accountant Grid Walks, are doing really well. Everyone understands what they are. Everyone kind of understands what it is on the tin and all that sort of stuff. And we feel like that has gone from strength to strength. The problem is we're not 100% sure that this show, the main show, really has its own little subtitle that kind of says anything. And we've had some great suggestions in so far, but you guys still have an opportunity to let us know what we should call this show. And again, your show. And we've got a great prize lined up as well. So I have every single one of the top trumps in their own little laminated pouch for one lucky winner. So again, put your suggestions in the side there. If you've already put a suggestion, put them in again. We're going to keep pushing those through so we get some ideas going. But yeah, we're going to come back to them towards the middle or end of the show and go through from there. So if you've got any ideas that you think is worthy of the title of our main show, then yeah, please do let us know. And we're already starting to lean towards a certain couple of them, aren't we, Johann?
Yeah, Andy messaged me last night with a suggestion. So Andy from Client Engager, he would like to call it Ask the Accountant, Get the Week Started.
Get the week started. I'm surprised it's got nothing to do with chilies or anything like that. You would have thought you'd try and shoehorn it in somehow, right? Yeah. Kirsty started straight off the bat with Ask the Accountant, the original. It's like almost got Godfather sense to it. It's got to be the breakfast show. So Louise is again pushing for the breakfast show one. We're loving that. We're loving that. So yeah, we are.
That means we have to come and do this every day of the week.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Start rivaling GMTV and BBC Breakfast News.
This could be it. It could be it. Could be it. So yeah, 1 year, and any big takeaways? I know we've done like a one not so long ago where we kind of had a look back. But what's your number one takeaway of the first year of Ask the Accountant?
I think it just shows anyone can do this. You know, like, all right, yes, we've now spent some money on kit, so we've got good microphones and sound and cameras and stuff like that. But that's not how I started a year ago. I started off with a 80 quid webcam and a 50 quid microphone. Like, anyone can do this. My only top tip and advice for you is you've got to be consistent. Because if you're not, and we've seen some of our fellow podcasters who have, like, they've launched really well. They've done really well. And then the consistency stopped. And then they're struggling to restart again. They've not got the momentum. They've not got the enthusiasm and the passion necessarily behind it of the audience, not necessarily the producers and the presenters, but the audience just haven't got back on board. So yeah, consistency has got to be the key. Now, I know there's some things that you and I are still needing to work on, like some of the sessions that are pre-recorded. We don't manage to get them on all the channels at the same time, or even on all the channels in the first place. So we still need to work on our consistency there. But like anything in life, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it, and the bigger your audience will become.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. For me, it all kind of came to fruition from the roadshow. We had at the very end of one of the Reading, wasn't it? We had a listener come up to us, and they said this was their first ever accounting related conference. So they took them outside their comfort zone, came up and then they came up and said hello. And it's bits like that, right? It's the opportunity for people to go out there, meet new friends, meet new acquaintances, find out the things. We say a lot, don't we? Our whole story about Ask the Accountant was Accountex 2022. No, yeah, 2022, wasn't it? And around a beer. Like, that's what happens when you go to these sort of events. You have the opportunities to, further your career, further your enhancements on it. So yeah, I think that's kind of sums it up, that we've got a nice little community now. So yeah, it's absolutely loving it. So yeah, I do feel like this is start of something. We've got some extra things coming up, and we always said on Ask the Accountant, like, expect to see other faces as well. That's what we want this brand to be. We want to encourage people to come along, and there's conversations, maybe even a zero show one day. So yeah, I certainly won't be involved in that one. So I'll be passing the bat on to whoever wants to talk about the word zero going forward. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled. All right, so that is our 1 year old celebrations. That is the fact that we asked you guys for some help. So we got Monday morning breakfast show from Louise coming through. Oh, I love this one. Just another panic Monday. Just another panic. Are we allowed that song, do you reckon? Do you think we can get that right out of it?
I don't know if we get the copyrights on that. Well, we probably won't be able to get the copyrights. It's whether it's affordable or not is a very different matter.
We'll figure it out. We've got to spend some budget somewhere, haven't we? Maybe it's on just another manic Monday. So the big news of the week that we want to talk about is Apron. So we love Apron. They're a great little solution. If you haven't used them already, please do go and have a look at them. Getapron.com for more information on their particular product. The product they have out at the moment is just a really slick way of being able to pay your payables. So the idea is that the information gets extracted from QuickBooks or Xero. Then they have the opportunity to make payment from them. They're clever little bit is they also read the invoice that's attached and try and find banking information on there. So if the supplier has provided the banking information on the receipt, then what Apron does really, really well is extracts that data and be able to put it there. And it circumvents that issue that you have with a lot of FMSs at the moment, where you don't get to store banking information on an individual supplier. So as great as most of the solutions are, you've then got to manually say where you've got to make the payment to. Apron has a really clever way. They'll extract that information. They then have ability to bring it forward and then have you the opportunity, without logging into client bank accounts or anything like that, giving you the opportunity to start the motion of getting stuff paid. So you send them approval, they click on approval, it goes into their banking app on their phone and off to the races. It's a really, really slick solution. But they're looking to expand their offering, aren't they?
They are.
And maybe go in direct competition with some other players on the market, which is interesting to see. So, John, do you want to talk us through what their newest edition is going to be?
To clear up any speculation or any thoughts, we're not sponsored by Apron. We just absolutely love their product, and I love their coffee. By far one of the best swags you'll get from any accounting conference at the moment is go to the Apron stand and they've got bags of whole bean coffee, which we love in my household.
And there's also a story around that coffee as well, isn't it? It's one of their first customers.
It's one of their customers that produce it for them, which I just think I love that support. Like, I give all my team members a box of chocolate brownies at the start of every month. They get mailed out. And that's one of my clients that I'm just supporting them, as it were. So Apron, they kind of announced it a couple of weeks back. We didn't necessarily report on it because we wanted to know more about it. We've now had those conversations with Apron.
And we weren't sure about the NDAs as well, were we? We were a bit like, yeah.
We'd been consulted on our thoughts on it as Apron users, and we weren't sure where we were sitting with our NDAs and stuff, but that's all been cleared up now, so we can talk to you about it. But basically, Apron are going to release a new feature in March next year called Snap. And Snap is going to be a rival to Dext and Auto Entry, basically, and Receipt Capture and HubDoc and all of those good tools. Aaron and I have made it very clear what they need to achieve from day one of release to make it a viable alternative in the form of automation, accuracy, etc. And I think, having witnessed a very, very thinly veiled jab at Apron on stage at the QuickBooks Roadshow last week by Dext, I think they might be slightly threatened by this. I think this, compounded with Dext's price rise, has made Dext feel a bit vulnerable. Because there was a very extremely thinly veiled jab made at Apron, who was sat next to them on stage, which was highly entertaining. I mean, unfortunately, most of the people had gone by the end of that point of the day. So there's a app panel at the end of the day on the QuickBooks Roadshow, and not huge amounts of people stick around for it. They just get off and go do school runs and stuff. But if you can, do, because you never know. You never know. I mean, I was expecting to get the ring out for the boxing and have different people in different corners. But yeah, it was I think what Apron are proposing, and based on what I've seen on the of their OCR technology for the bill reading, I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And it could be a real game changer. Now, we don't know where they're going to come in pricing wise and pricing model. We don't know what functionality is going to be there from day one, but watch this space, because I think it's got the opportunity to be a real disruptor to the industry. because they were saying, weren't they, they've now got 3 whole dedicated teams to the software development, and 1 whole team is working on Snap. So yeah, it's going to be impressive and exciting to see what happens in March.
Yeah, but when you said about the roadshow and they were kind of explaining Snap themselves and what it is, it does make a lot of sense. I mean, the way that they want to really push it in the way that they want to make this relevant is about the fact that their whole ethos is, well, why not try and own all of it? Why not try and own end-to-end the whole solution? Because at the moment, what their reliance is that Receipt Snap, Text, Auto-Entry, whoever's has done a good enough job to get that information in, that the image is good enough quality, that it's centered, all that sort of stuff. So they're fighting basically for their solution to work end to end in the reliance on another piece of software to provide the data in the first place. So this does make sense, right? Like if you had the opportunity to take the photo of the bill payment directly there, then that information is going to be extracted easily into your FMS point of choice, and then you could then make the payment directly there. If you think about it from the customer point of view, how easy and relevant and useful would that be? If you've got this person who normally at the end of the day they've got piles and piles of invoices, they've just got to get paid, and they've got an in tray and out tray, or however their solution's going to go, and they're sat there actually making these payments manually. The whole idea of Apron is, well, you take a photo of it, you initiate the payment, and that's it. Like literally, it should be, in theory, it should be as simple as that, right? That's the solution they're going for. And then the idea would be that it also connects back to QuickBooks or Xero or whatever solution you're using, and it keeps that updated as well, and keeps you on track in terms of VAT and everything else that goes with it. So I feel like it's a no-brainer. It makes sense. We'll have to wait until the solution comes out. I'd imagine that this will be perfectly suited for anyone who wants to use Apron to make payments, but maybe, just maybe, if they're already using another solution, they'll probably be happy with that solution and they won't gain anything. I think their USP is the fact that they do the whole life cycle of a bill payment, right? So yeah, I'm excited to kind of have a play around with it. And if it's anything like the quality of the software they've got at the moment, we should be into a good thing, shouldn't we?
Definitely. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does and how it works and see what happens.
Yeah, and they've just released like a practice view, haven't they? So they've already kind of started doing the groundwork for what that would be. So yeah, excited to see that. Stephen says, "Hi, happy birthday. I do like Apron, but struggle with matching the wages we upload from doing a manual upload from Apron to QBO. How we match these? How do we? I think it is. Do we match these in QBO bank feed? You shouldn't be having any problems. Everything I've been using, even the manual side, has all kind of flown through nicely. But what I would definitely suggest, and this is one of the nice things about Apron, is if you see them at any of the road shows, like the QuickBooks Roadshow, ACA, they're on as well. They'll have the stand, go grab your coffee, go have a talk to them. But best of all, it's normally the developer, or at least one of the developers, is there on stage. And we've had stuff we've said, oh, this doesn't quite work. What's going on here? And was fixed within 20 minutes, wasn't it? So,
Whilst at the event.
Yeah, live at the event, exactly. So please do go and have a word with them. That's going to be the best way. If we'll try and bring it up for you as well, Stephen, when we're there.
But I think it depends as well on payroll softwares, etc., and whether they're journaling in. But basically, I know with my team, we've had a few occasions where the money out of the bank hasn't picked up on a journal to match to or something. So all we've done is said transfer to payroll clearing or whatever you're calling that clearing account, and then you're back down to zero. So it's not, I'm not necessarily needing to look for the match icon. I'm quite happy just to go, oh, that's payroll. We know what that is. Transfer.
Yeah. And we're trying our best, aren't we, to get them in front of different payroll providers to look at direct links and everything else. So, fingers crossed, you'll see them popping up. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the good use cases we haven't spoke about, isn't it? The fact that they do the payroll side of things as well, which the idea for accountants is that we can go, right, well, let's start doing end-to-end. Let's not only produce pay slips, but also send them over an option for them to approve and make payments there and then. So really powerful solution. Looking forward to seeing that coming forward. I suppose we might as well just cover this now before we go on to our sponsor break. But we've just been talking about Dext, and Dext have launched a new add-on as well. So their idea, and let's be completely frank about this, Johann's already mentioned the fact they're on a little bit of a back foot. So it looks like they're looking for new ways to kind of gain our conversation topics and gain our trust again and give us some more functionality. Well, they're looking at bringing a browser extension, or Dex, sorry, into a browser extension. And I quite like the idea of this. At the moment, it's Xero only, so I don't like that at all. But, hey ho. I'm sure they'll come into QuickBooks and the rest of us sooner rather than later. But the idea would be a Chrome extension is the idea that we can access Dex while we're actually already in that solution. And what I like about that is the fact that we could maybe do a bit of an investigation. Maybe we're expecting a bill to be there, but it's not there, or there's a payment made from the bank and we can't see it, and we can quickly investigate there. But also we use some of their other features, can't we? Like paperwork requests, for example, if we're missing a particular
that one. Well, I'm going to be honest. Are they trying to re-engineer what's already there? Because in QuickBooks, we can request missing documents.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Ultimately, if I'm using Dex to investigate stuff, I could have two screens.
You could.
With different monitors, or two tabs even, just switch backwards and forth. I need to see the product in real life working so I can establish, is that saving me any real time? Because their argument is this extension helps justify the increase in their price, and it rebalances the value proposition in their mind, or it goes towards that rebalancing. And I'm not convinced at the moment.
Yeah, and I suppose the fact that it's only Chrome extension will always limit it as well. I mean, I imagine majority of people using Chrome. I can't imagine too many people are using anything but Chrome. But that's going to be tricky. But I suppose for the Xero world, they don't really have a fully functioning client request. I know there's like that workaround you can do and all that sort of stuff. So I suppose it is giving functionality to them. I suppose it's something to add to their bow, isn't it? It gives them something new to talk about going forward, because they are on the back foot and they need something just to kind of give us something to talk about positive for them, isn't it? So I suppose it's
well, I mean, what was the last thing they launched? It was 2 weeks before MTD ITSA got shelved, and it was their MTD ITSA solution, which didn't make much sense at the time either. So
it was a misstep, wasn't it? That one, that was definitely didn't quite work. And you can see Dex kind of, it almost felt like when they released that they were going into creating their own general ledger, FMS, whatever you're going to call it, a bookkeeping solution basically. And that seems to have quietened down, and this step onto more of a Chrome extension seems to make that less likely, right? That seems like they're back in there. What they do well.
At the QuickBooks Roadshow last week, when he was on stage and not making thinly veiled jabs at his competitors, was very clear that they plan to stay in their lane.
Yep.
They plan to focus. I mean, I think his precise words were, "We're not going to be stepping into lanes we have no right to be in." Yep. It was something along those lines, wasn't it? Which was the thinly veiled jab at Apron, but also I think it kind of reaffirmed that they're not looking at general ledgers. They're focusing on what they're doing. They want to focus more and get more data out of those documents and make that process more streamlined.
Yeah. And just to be clear, it was a tinfoil hat moment for us. Like we have no insight whatsoever into if they were going to look at general ledgers, but it felt like they were, but now it feels like they're definitely not. And one of the positives they did say though was that they were looking to start those conversations with QuickBooks again and try and find ways to make their Xavier product, their Dex position, isn't it? That product to be more usable with the likes of QuickBooks and hopefully on par with what they can get out of Xero. So fingers crossed those sort of conversations, because that will help the whole industry, right? If those APIs and everything can be opened up and accessible, then everyone's going to have access to them. So I fingers crossed those conversations can go down the right way.
Definitely.
Wonderful. Well, I think it's time to jump into our sponsor segment. So we are proudly sponsored by Employment Hero. And I thought we'll go back to my entry because, Johann, I've heard that your entry has hit the snags, hasn't it?
It fell off a cliff. Yeah, in amongst everything else I do, it turns out I don't have time to make videos or have the imagination to create the idea for a video. So yeah, no, we are down to yours and Lizzie's entries.
So we'll have to quickly get a poll up at some point to see who won. But I don't know if it's actually worth putting a poll up when I've got a feeling we all know who did win. Yeah. Right. Let's roll my intro.
Well, hello there. Here at Ask the Accountant, we cannot believe that we are now sponsored by the one and only Employment Hero. Employment Hero has elevated mine and Johann's accounting practice. And I'm going to explain to you why, using that handy little visual aid that everybody knows and loves called chocolate. And I'm calling them Employment Heroes. Let me explain. You see, everybody loves a box of chocolates, right? Especially when it's full. It's got loads of cool stuff in it. Let me just empty it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this box with all the good things that Employment Heroes, can do for you. It's HR software, payroll software, the twirl representing employment super app. It also helps you with employment of record as well. Application tracking, learning and development. See why we love a box of chocolates? AI. It's not just a buzzword with Employment Hero. And finally, integration with apps. So that's why, for me, Employment Hero is a box of chocolates. Now, comment below. Which one should I eat first? It's our job as one got it.
See, that's the song that we're used to. Yeah. But thank you, Employment Hero. Thank you for your continued support. Thank you for sponsoring our little podcast. And yeah, everyone, if you want more information about Employment Hero themselves, do make sure you head over to their website. It's not just a sponsorship for us. We are using it in our practice and we absolutely love it. And this is a great idea by Andy. Sure, there's a punishment for Johann not delivering on his promise. I mean, Andy's the one who said it, and I think motion passed. All in favour?
Andy, I was too busy doing all your demos to be able to do this.
He's trying to blame others there. I'm not sure we can allow that one. But yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. I think instead of Lizzie's obviously going to get a prize for it, but we'll also figure out a punishment for you as well. Wonderful.
Is Lizzie's prize not the privilege of continue to work with us?
Oh, is that what she gets? Wow. Continued employment. Wow. So everyone, if you want producer Lizzie to maintain her producer Lizzie status, please do vote for her video going forward. I feel like I'm the only one who loses out on this because you get a fancy little, a fancy little punishment. Lizzie gets to maintain her job. And what do? Oh, actually, I get to eat those chocolates, actually, so I win as well. So everyone's a winner.
Yeah.
There they are, in person. Right, awesome.
That didn't sound like it rattled, Aaron. Have you eaten the chocolates?
No, they're all in there. I promise you. We've got AI and all sorts in here. Integrations with our apps. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like mine was less thought out than Liz's. Let's put it that way. Right, okay. Hammock, they've launched a brand new product as well. It seems to all be happening at the moment. Is this what happens when people get back off school holidays? Is it they all released all their solutions?
Isn't it?
Tech. Oh, you have got it right there. Yeah, I didn't realize the accounting industry jumped into Techtober as well.
Well, yeah, we've got new iPhones, new Google phones. There's rumors of potential new iPads this week or next. So yeah, no, it makes sense that everyone else is releasing new ideas and new tools. Just because they're not
new
in the
VR products. Were you interested in getting yourself the latest and greatest in VR?
I've not seen that.
Oh, the Meta Quest 3.
Oh, no.
Yeah, with pass through. So yeah,
Yeah.
trying to replicate what the app VRR solution will be. Okay, so speaking of new solutions and new items, Hammock have released their new practice solution, which you can definitely see as it starts to formulate exactly where they want to take Hammock going forward. But yeah, have you got any information that we can kind of understand what this feature is?
Yeah, so James from Hammock kind of gave us a tip off a few weeks ago that something was coming in the way of a practice solution, as it were. So what they've done is they've created like a central dashboard hub place for accountants to be able to access their clients easier. And it's got 2 new features in predominantly at the moment. There will be a lot more to come from what I understand. They've got a very long list of ideas of what they want to launch for accountants. But one is provision accounts. So you can now create and set up the account yourself with no involvement from the landlord. So originally, or up until now, we've had to turn around and go, we recommend you use Hammock. Here's their contact details or a link. Go and set it up yourself. Whereas we can now do that for them, which takes away a pain point and make sure it's set up properly. So that's now available, which is a big one in the right direction for us. And you will also be able to upload spreadsheets and statements for the initial setup. So rather than connecting a bank feed, which normally can only go 3 months back, some go further, but it's a bit ad hoc. Someone's at the door.
Someone is at the front door.
I do apologize. So we've got when we do an initial setup, instead of connecting the bank feed, which can only go so far back normally, you'll just be able to upload spreadsheets or the agent statements that your landlords already send. Simply upload all those to Hammock and they'll do the rest for you. So at the moment, it's very much making life easier for us because it was built for landlords originally. Then they realized the importance of accountants. So they've been building stuff for that for a while now. And this is like their next big step into, we'll get this right for accountants so we can onboard more people, etc. And yeah, even that setting up of accounts, that probably has put me off recommending it to some clients that I could have used Hammock for in the past because I didn't trust their ability with technology. So yeah, I would do that basically. I would want to go and set up my own accounts. I'd want to go and set up my own spreadsheets and stuff nice and easily. So yeah, I'm really happy with that as a next step, and it gives me an opportunity to reevaluate our positioning with Hammock and hopefully roll it out to more clients.
Yeah, it definitely sees a step in the direction that they want to go as well, doesn't it? So I know initially when they first kind of came to market, they were like, they were very much looking forward to MTD ITSA as an opportunity to build out a whole end-to-end solution. So not only could you record your rental properties and be able to put it in best-in-class rentals bookkeeping solution, but also it gave them the opportunity to go, actually, we can also add items like submitting your account or your tax returns and everything else. I've not heard if they've ever thought about bringing in SA 100s or 101s or anything like that. Doesn't seem like that's right for them, does it? But yeah, they're definitely ready for MTD when it comes along.
Yeah, whether they bring in the forms now, I don't know, but I know they're ready to submit quarterly returns to HMRC for us.
Yeah.
So the replacement of that SA 100 they can handle.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the analog version, as I call it, I'm not convinced they're ready for that yet.
No, it doesn't make sense, does it? To all that development in for a couple of years worth of benefit, does it? So, yeah.
Definitely.
And I know at one point they were looking at corporation as well and trying to do limited companies, and maybe not to file, but at least to be able to do the bookkeeping side of things more accurately. So it looks like positive things are coming from Hammock.
Yeah, and they've confirmed that there's no change in clients' processes whatsoever. It's just additional features at no additional cost.
That's what we like to hear. That is what we like to hear. So Hammock new practice solution is out there and ready to have a play around with. We highly recommend having a look at it. If you have got any form of rental client, for us, they're still best in class at that sort of option, aren't they? Of be able to bring them in. Paul says, I had a meeting with Matt from Hammock last week, hopefully trialing it with a few clients this week. Great to hear. And they mentioned also how import works, so we can get paper statements in the system in a few clicks. Yeah, and obviously that's one of the pain points of rental properties, right? The issue where you've got that gross to net solution. So yeah, looking forward to see that one. And they now support Airbnb non-tenancy clients as well. Oh, excellent. We missed that one. So yeah, that's good to hear. Hammock also have a nice little relationship with a little company called Sage as well, don't they? They went into little technically it's a partnership, isn't it? That's what they classed it as. So if under Sage, yeah, it was part of it. Was it Accounting Web that it was all announced? Around that time, wasn't it? But yeah, so Sage and Hammock have got their fancy partnership, but Sage also have been bringing out some updates. And one of the reasons we want to talk about it is because we feel like hats off to Chris Downing on this one. And if you haven't seen it, he's done a little announcement video going through all of their latest updates, and very well done. There'll be questions to if Chris Downing is around, or if he can let us know who actually did his video for him, because we really do like that video. We know Sage have got some very talented video editors at their disposal, especially in the Go Proposal camp. So wondering if it was with them or if it was Chris Downing himself. But ultimately, he did a nice little video to announce that client management usability is on its way. Integration of Sage 50 into Sage for Accountants is now live and ready to play around with. Bank statement import in our new Sage individual plan was another option. Add notes transactions, Sage individual. Trial balance import for Sage individual into Sage final accounts and tax. Plus a new ideas board dedicated to our online final accountants, corporation tax and personal tax tools. So basically, they're not insignificant updates, are there? Some nice little updates coming along, especially like the idea of Sage 50 getting straight into Sage Accountants. I think that's going to be there. I know some people are still, loving Sage Line 50 and want to kind of hold on to it. The fact there are still some updates there is good to see. But I think more than anything, it's just that update. I think it was a great one. Oh, we've got it. It was a team effort. Been doing every month for the past 7 months. Excellent. Well, it's the first time I've seen that particular update there. So yeah, we're loving it. And I think having that person to come and explain these ones is where it needs to be, right?
Update emails only go so far.
Exactly. And having the face of or a face to kind of put down all the updates to, and like have that personality is what it's all about. So yeah, hats off. Absolutely love that update. And we're looking forward to seeing more coming through from there. So yeah, we know there's some big things coming, aren't they? So it'll be exciting to see when they launch.
Definitely.
Cool. So yeah, so hats off to that update there. And then the next topic, or one of our final topics that are coming through, we've got a bit of a song to go with this one. So give me 2 seconds on this while it plays.
Quick, turn it off before we get copyrighted.
Yeah, copyrighted. But hopefully everyone gets a reference to FAB, which was a Thunderbird reference there, because we now have a new show to look forward to, which is FAB, or well, the exact terms is Festival of Accounting and Bookkeeping, isn't it? That's exactly their
which sounds fab.
It's fab, exactly. So fab.uk is a place to go along to find the home of our new exhibit, Festival of Accounting and Bookkeeping, which is on the 13th to 14th of March 2024 in NEC Birmingham. And I'll be completely honest, and this is our big kind of talking point about this one, is that I was at first very confused about what this festival or what this conference was, other than the fact it's at the same location that Accounting Web was going to be and around the same time as Accounting Web Live was going to be. I was completely and utterly dumbfounded to what this was. Originally, when I first saw it, I thought it was a whole brand new product, a brand new solution. Apparently, it was announced officially at the Accounting Excellence Awards, so that gives some indication of where it was from and who's involved in it. But before we go into it a little bit more detail, what do you think to the name, Johann? Are you liking, not liking? What's your initial reactions to the Festival of Accounting and of Accounting and Bookkeeping? Is it fab?
Someone from marketing's obviously got a hold of it and gone, we're going to have a festival. We don't have conferences anymore. Conferences are so 1990s. We have a festival. We want to be like Glastonbury and Reading and Leeds. It's not. I do wonder if we're going too far down this casual line. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm the guy that stood on stage last week in a hoodie and jeans next to a guy in a three-piece suit. I mean, yeah, I felt the industry's come along a long way since I last. Well, I don't turn up in a three-piece suit at any time, but we've come a long way from that. But going to jeans and hoodies is one thing. Are we going to a festival? Like, if I'm going to this event, I'm not going to turn around to my client and say, I'm going to go to the Festival of Accounting. I'm going to a conference. Yeah. Because that's acceptable in our clients and our staff members' eyes. Like, yeah, like the staff already think we're out on the jolly all the time. They don't need to be reaffirmed that by calling it a festival.
A festival, yeah.
So yeah, I think the angle's probably going too far down that road, but never mind. And you know, fab. I think we all know what they're trying to compete with here. Let's be open and honest about this. This is their attempt to be on par with DAS or Digital Accounting.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, they've obviously seen the branding and the abbreviation work well for DAS, and they're going, right, we want a piece of that.
Doesn't it feel like Digital Accounting Show already have that festival kind of vibe? Well, or is it more of
a show though, isn't it? It's not a festival.
Yeah, it's more of a I suppose Ibiza type vibe, isn't it? That's what they're going for. It's more of a nightclubby type thing. So I suppose if you've got DAS being more nightclubby, and
I think ultimately this all goes back to the conversation you and I have had with countless suppliers to the industry from informal tech providers, countless attendees, and that is they're all stepping on all these shows are stepping on each other's feet.
Yep.
And they're actually it's becoming detrimental to everyone. The fact that they've moved all the dates into the same 6-week blooming period is just ridiculous. The fact that the Accounting Web is obviously trying to make their event a success and to be trendy and catch on, and they've had a rough start. Don't get me wrong, like the first conference was just after COVID, and it happened to fall a week after the weekend when Omicron gets announced. Coventry might not have been the best location for a conference from a transport point of view. Yeah, they've had a rough start, and I think they're trying to clamber to get back to where they thought it should be by now. But I think the whole events industry for the accounting world at the moment needs to pause, look at it and think, who are we serving best here? Is it ourselves or is it the attendees and the supporters that are the tech providers that pay considerable amount of money to be at these events? I do not think what they're doing at this moment in time, if they're truly honest with themselves, is in the best interests of the attendees or the vendors that are paying to be there. It's an ego thing. It's a one-upmanship against other direct competitors of the events industry.
Yeah.
And it needs to stop. Like it needs to stop. These events need to be spread out so that everyone has an opportunity to attend as many as they want. Putting them all in 6 weeks reduces the opportunity considerably. They need to stop playing, stepping on each other's toes and just go, right, Daz, that's you're looking at this tech market completely fine. Accountex, you're about the numbers, you're about getting as many vendors in one place and getting FaceTime with as many people as possible. Fine. What can, and the Fab do? What's their angle? Like, there's no point in stealing from others. Come up with your own angle. So it's really, really annoying me from a attendee as an accounting firm owner. It really annoys me from a software vendor point of view with Client Engager. Like, these events aren't cheap.
No.
And now they're getting more and more expensive, and they're putting them all on at the same time. Like, even the big boys we're talking to, and I won't name names, but the big boys are saying it's crippling marketing planning and budgets.
Yeah, without
And
doubt.
at some point, they're going to have to make a decision as to which ones they do and don't support.
Yeah, exactly. And
yeah, I think anyone involved in these events needs to take a long, hard look at why are they taking the actions they're taking. And I think we can all agree it's not in the interest of the vendors or the attendees.
Yeah, 100%. And we can see if you just take those 3 ones, because there's more as well, because there's XeroCon, there's the QuickBooks Roadshows, there's Firm Up, I assume, still going to be happening from a Sage point of view or GoCardless point of view. There's all those kind of conferences to sprinkle in there as well. ACCA Roadshows and ICAW conferences and ICB, when you look at it, there's so many conferences and so many things for us that if you kind of look at it as these 3 big events, which historically was Accountex, which was South and North, but South being the main one, right, with North being a great addition to the lineup, but it is their kind of secondary one. Daz had kind of come to the industry and been, came in with a nice big bang, and now is trying to find its feet. And I feel like their unique bit that they're still trying to push, isn't it, is about uniqueness. They want to have exclusivity. They want to bring in certain speakers that the rest haven't got. That's what they're going for, right? And we can debate long and hard if that 2-day event's going to work or not, but that's what they've gone for. I just feel like this one, especially with this new refresh, Accounting Web Live did what it's on the tin, right? It was related to Accounting Web, which we all support and we all kind of get involved with, and it's a leading part of our industry, in terms of a source of truth, right? Why the upgrade or the update to Fab when there's no real? It doesn't feel like it's now Accounting Web. It feels like it's separate. It feels like, and I get it, it's it's a marketing ploy, a push and a rebrand, and trying to make it relevant, and hopefully it gets maybe some buzz around it in terms of new people trying it for the first time. But I just don't get why they dropped the Accounting Web side of things. Are they trying to distance themselves, or what? What's your thoughts on the fact that it's now not Accounting Web?
I think maybe accounting. If it looks like they've gone into partnership with ACCA for this, based on their website, and maybe ACA's terms were, we will work alongside you to promote this to all of our audience. However, it can't be the Accounting Web show anymore. It needs to be something more generic, so that other partners can come in and go, as a collaboration, we're delivering this. No, you don't. You go to Reading or Leeds Festival you mainly go for the opening act, the lead act. But you don't call it the Coldplay show or whoever else show. It's a collaboration of artists. Yeah.
Whereas, but then again, Leeds and Reading is exactly what it says on the tin, right? It's a festival in Leeds and a festival in Reading. Glastonbury is what it is on the tin. It's a festival in Glastonbury. Do you know what I mean? Like, Festival of Accounting and Bookkeeping. I see what they're doing. I see it's again, catchy name. I don't think they really want to be associated with Thunderbirds, but there's a Thunderbirds, thing that maybe they can and cannot use on that one. But I don't know. Like, and especially really, if you think about it, if they are doing this big launch, then where's the assets to go with it? At the moment, it says powered by ACCA Accounting Web, launch partners being Bright, Intuit, and Xero, and a one-page element saying, we're carefully curating a fresh experience that's set to redefine the way exhibit accounting events. It's target unique Midland-focused accounting, content designed to put you at the heart of the debate, expect the unexpected in a show floor experience, memorable show features, and get affordable and hassle-free approach to exhibiting an event. And that's it. So, you know, if it's this new brand they're going to really push, don't they need more to push that brand? Or am I being too cynical on that one?
It's very airy-fairy, isn't it? Which tells me they've had to launch it now because they're running out of time, but they still haven't really quite firmed up what that looks like.
Yeah, it's still quite up in there. And if you think about it, it should be happening what now, is it? As in, if we looked at the original timetable of when Accounting Web was, that was around about now, or November time, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
So we should be thinking to ourselves,
it was in November.
Yeah, we should be thinking, oh, you know, we're about to go to Accounting Web, how that's going to be. You know, we should be on that kind of hype train for it now. So it's right to be talking about it now because this is when it should be, right? Like, this is the time to talk about it. But what are we talking about? Because again, as Paul just says here, it's really just buzzwords and no real content or context to what's going on.
Yeah, and let's be clear, you and I are the biggest supporter of events in the accounting industry going. Like, we strongly recommend everyone makes it to at least one a year because it's where you network, you get the latest insights. They're so valuable. But I'm struggling to get behind any of the events for next year at this moment in time because actually I'm going to take Accountex out of this because Accountex haven't moved. Accountex hasn't changed. They're doing what Accountex have always done. But I do feel like Fab and DAS and they're making attendees and vendors' lives very difficult unnecessarily.
Yeah.
365 days in the year. Okay, maybe we all avoid January. Get that. Completely understand that. Still got 11 months to put stuff in. Even if you take out December because of Christmas, okay, we've still got 10 months to spread things out in. Why has it all got to be in this same 8-week period?
Yeah. And that's not, is that including ZeroCon as well? Is that?
Zero aren't doing one every year. They're doing one every few years now.
But they're supposed to have ditched London this year, weren't they? And then they decided to come along. Get involved.
Yeah. I think like ZeroCon and QuickBooks Connect, I've no issue with because they are, if they go ahead, they'll be around the same time as they've always been.
Yeah, true.
Like, that's not the problem. Like, the people that are continuing as they were, like the ICB Summit, that goes ahead as normal.
Yep.
Like, anyone that's continuing as they were and, you know, maintaining that original calendar, thank you. But those of you who are trying to play leapfrog of each other, of who's going to be the first to go and, you know, who's going to have what exclusive content, I think you need to grow up and take a look at the damage you're creating for yourselves and the negative impact you're having on attendees and vendors.
Yeah, exactly right.
That's me off the speaking list for every show this year, apart from Accountex then.
No, but it's and we like you know, we kind of go to these events wanting to be able to go to a vendor and learn something brand new, right?
Yep.
And that's where it worked quite nicely with the way it originally was, where the fact that they were spread out, because it gave those developers an opportunity to launch or talk about something or an enhancement to something, right? Chris
would have announced their new features next month at Accounting Web, I would argue.
Exactly right. Yeah. I know Chris is doing well in terms of promoting what Sage is doing and stuff, but actually the bigger impact would be, here it is, here's Sage's new XYZ at the event, right?
Yep.
And pushing those forward, because that's what these events, for someone, you know, for the geeks like us who love that sort of thing and love talking about that sort of thing, that's where we go. We love going around the vendors. What have you got going? What have you, and how are they supposed to release something new for each one of these events? It's impossible, right?
Yeah.
Like,
no,
they're not client engager.
I've said what I've said. Like, I think they've been detrimental. As individual events, I have thoroughly enjoyed attending DAS and Accounting Web. Like, they've been good events. All the events are good, well-run events. There's no issue with that whatsoever. It's this one-upmanship of organizations, of organizing it at the moment. And we want to be the first of the year, and we want to have this exclusive content, and we want this and we want that. And it's like, actually, none of it's being done ultimately for the vendors or the attendees. It's being done for them to get the sponsorship deals. So they've got, and to do that, they need the biggest numbers.
Yeah, completely. Speaking of events, QB
Let's move on to
Roadshow.
a positive thing, shall we? No, I've got off my soapbox. That's my Monday morning rant done.
So segue straight into QB Roadshow, QuickBooks Roadshow. I absolutely love these events. We went to Glasgow this time last week. I was on the train. Well, an hour or two from now, I would have been on the train going up to Glasgow. And we went to the kind of warm-up event for QuickBooks Roadshow, wasn't it? It was lovely up there, a bit more intimate than kind of maybe they wanted it to be in terms of numbers and stuff, but it was still, people who were there were, the people who were there were, we're getting involved, and it was a nice event to kind of start off the roadshow. Not necessarily announcements as such, other than the kind of push into AI and push through from there. So that was good to see. And then we went to Reading as well, and we had a lovely, really well attended event there. Some great people in the show to talk about. We've done a whole podcast that will be going live tomorrow. That you can kind of go and we talk into a lot more detail as to what we got up to at the roadshow itself. But we're there tomorrow as well, aren't we? In Brighton, at Chelmsford of all places. So yeah,
we are.
It's going to be good. Again, if you are going to go to any of these events, if you are coming along, come and say hello to us, and we'll pass over some of our top trump cards to go along with, and maybe you can be able to get the opportunity to collect some more. But they've been good events, haven't they? Yeah, I mean, we've thoroughly enjoyed them so far.
Yeah, I'm leaving here not long after this podcast and heading down to Chelmsford. I'm looking forward to that. It's been interesting. Obviously, you and I go to these events always promoting the thought leadership pieces that QuickBooks put into their roadshows.
Yeah.
And I know Sage have done a lot around thought leadership sessions as well this year, and that's great. Xero's roadshows are normally sell, 0, 0, 0, and it's not for me. But last week's biggest and most well-attended event was your tips and tricks session for QuickBooks, wasn't it? So
shame, isn't it, really, that it's
but
then again, that's why people go there, right? They want to talk about QuickBooks.
There's a good balance, and to be fair, all the thought leadership sessions were well attended at Reading as well, so that's fine. It was just a really nice, well-run event. We get to see what happens behind the scenes, which is always nice. And the organisation and effort these events take is phenomenal. But absolutely great event. Really enjoyed it. If you're going to Chelmsford, I look forward to seeing you there. Or Leeds. Unfortunately, I won't be at Brighton. But Aaron, you will. 3 more events for people still to get along to. People can still book in now via the Roadshow website.
Yep.
Just again, it's the networking. That's the most valuable part of it for us. We enjoy that so much, don't we?
Yeah, it was just great because we were saying the big QuickBooks event. So if you go QuickBooks Connect back in March, amazing event, lots of lights and cameras and action and everything else that goes with it. It's such a powerful kind of statement, but we don't really get that chance to talk to people. We're not really able to be on the floor and kind of talk to individuals and stuff. But these sort of events, that's what they're designed for. They're networking opportunities. So
exactly,
absolutely love it. So we've got Chelmsford tomorrow, Leeds literally the week after, and then that's pretty much it until Brighton, which is a few weeks later after, isn't it? Is it or a week or so after that? So looking forward to that one. And that's it. That's another episode, the episode number 52. So next week is we start the clock again, another year of Ask the Accountant, and we go on from there. So
year 2, episode 1.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, brilliant that everyone's been able to attend. Thank you for everyone for talking in, just to make sure I didn't miss anyone, mention anything. Chris said that there is check out the previous updates here. So, little link on there that
Nice.
we'll leave on the channel and stuff. Need to go to see the previous updates. Natasha completely agrees with us with our thoughts on Fab. And yeah, finally, Paul said, I had to make choices this year over which ones to attend while fitting it around work, meeting, and local conference membership seminars. Yep, exactly right. It's very, very tricky on our diaries, isn't it, to make sure that we can go to them and make sure we go to the right ones. Well, that is it. That is episode number 52 of Ask the Accountant, year 1 done and dusted. Thanks to each and every one of you for your continued support. Thanks to Employment Hero for sponsoring the event, and no doubt we will see you bright and early next Monday morning at 8:30 a.m. for next exciting episode of Ask the Accountant. And we've got a couple of we have cool friends to look forward to this week, haven't we? So keep your eyes looked on that one. Brilliant.
See you all soon.
All right, everyone. We will speak to you all soon. Cheers.
Goodbye.
Bye.